Every night, you close your eyes, you lose consciousness completely. For 8 hours, you cannot run, you cannot fight, you cannot even scream quickly enough. You are, by every biological measure, at your most vulnerable, and you do this, every single night, without thinking twice about it. Now imagine doing that, outside, no walls, no locks, no alarm system, just you, the ground, and everything in the darkness that wanted to eat you. This is what ancient humans did, for hundreds of thousands of years, and the question that almost nobody asks, is how any of them survived it. Part 1, the real scale of the problem. Let's be specific about what ancient humans were sleeping next to. Not metaphorically next to, actually next to. In Africa, where humans lived for most of their existence, the nighttime predator list is extraordinary. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, crocodiles near water sources, all of them nocturnal or crepuscular hunters. All of them with dramatically better night vision than any human. All of them capable of killing a human adult in seconds. And humans needed to sleep. Not occasionally, not when it was safe. Every single night, for their entire lives, the human brain requires sleep to function. Without sleep, decision-making collapses, physical coordination fails, immune function drops. A human who avoided sleep to avoid predators would die from sleep deprivation faster than most predators would kill them. So sleep wasn't optional, but sleep in that environment seemed like it should have been fatal. And yet, here we are. Part 2, the fire that changed everything. The most important answer to this question is also the most obvious one. Fire. But the reason fire worked goes deeper than most people realize. It wasn't just that predators were afraid of flames. It was what fire did to the entire dynamic of nighttime danger. First, light. In complete darkness, a predator has every advantage. Better night vision, quieter movement, the ability to approach without being seen. Fire eliminated that darkness. Within the circle of firelight, a human could see approaching threats at a distance. The ambush, which is how most large predators actually kill, became significantly harder. Second, smell. Smoke dramatically disrupts the olfactory environment around a camp. Predators that rely heavily on smell to track prey find it significantly harder to locate specific targets within a smoke-filled area. Third, sound. A burning fire produces constant sound. That sound disrupts the acoustic environment that predators use to locate silent, sleeping prey. And fourth, the psychological effect on the predators themselves. Evidence suggests that large predators, particularly in areas with significant human presence, develop what researchers call the landscape of fear around human camps. They learn to avoid fire not because they were born afraid of it, but because generations of their ancestors that approached human fires often didn't survive the encounter. The fire wasn't just protection. It was a signal. This area is occupied by something dangerous. Move on. Part 3, the group that never fully slept. Here's something that most people don't know about ancient human sleep. Ancient humans didn't all sleep at the same time. This sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but the implications are more significant than they first appear. Evidence from studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies, which provide our best available window into how ancient humans may have lived, shows consistent patterns of what researchers call sentinel behavior. At any given time during the night, at least one or two members of a group are awake, not on a scheduled rotation, not because anyone assigned them the task, but because human sleep is naturally variable, and in groups, that variability means someone is almost always in a lighter sleep phase, alert enough to detect approaching danger. When one person stirs, others often wake partially. When someone actually alerts, the whole group can be awake within seconds. Evidence suggests this natural variability in human sleep timing may have evolved specifically because it provided this group protective function. The group that always had someone partially alert lost fewer people to nighttime predators. Over thousands of generations, that pattern was selected for. Your own tendency to wake briefly in the night, and then return to sleep, may be a direct inheritance from this ancient protective system. Part 4, where they actually slept. The choice of sleeping location was not random, and understanding what ancient humans looked for reveals how sophisticated their threat assessment was. Trees were one primary option. Sleeping in trees, particularly species with wide, stable branches, removed humans from the reach of most ground predators. Not all predators. Leopards climb exceptionally well, but most large cats and hyenas are ground hunters. A sleeping platform 10 feet off the ground eliminates a significant proportion of nighttime threats. Evidence of early human tree sleeping is difficult to preserve archaeologically, but comparative evidence from our closest primate relatives, and from modern hunter-gatherer groups, suggests tree sleeping was likely common. Caves provided different advantages. A cave with a narrow entrance could be defended by 1 or 2 people against predators that couldn't maneuver through the opening. It provided walls, which meant threats could only come from one direction, which meant the entire group didn't need to maintain 360-degree vigilance. High ground mattered. Sleeping on elevated terrain made silent approach significantly harder. Predators approaching from below make noise, and ancient humans sleeping in elevated positions had both the acoustic advantage of hearing approach and the physical advantage of higher ground in any confrontation. Part 5. The sleep that wasn't like yours. Here's where the science of sleep itself becomes relevant. Evidence suggests ancient human sleep was fundamentally different from modern human sleep in ways that directly affected survival. Modern humans typically sleep in one long consolidated block. Evidence from sleep research, including studies of people without artificial lighting, suggests the natural human sleep pattern may be biphasic. 2 separate sleep periods, with a natural waking interval in between. During that waking interval, ancient humans weren't just lying there frustrated about being awake. They talked. They tended the fire. They listened to the darkness. That middle of the night waking period, which millions of modern humans experience and find distressing, may be the ancient brain running its normal nighttime security protocol. Check the fire. Listen for threats. Confirm the group is safe. Then return to sleep. Ancient humans also appear to have slept lighter than modern humans typically do. Studies comparing sleep depth in modern populations with and without electricity find that artificial light and temperature regulation create conditions for deeper sleep than humans experience in natural environments. Ancient humans slept more lightly, which meant they woke more easily, which meant approaching threats woke them faster. The sleep that modern humans sometimes find frustrating, because it feels too light, too easily disturbed, was the sleep that kept their ancestors alive.